gonna kind of prepare a graphic for. We're gonna create our own graphic for our game, and it's gonna be the title um, of our About Me game. And let's see what size we had. I said like 200 by 500. Okay, so the first thing in Photoshop, you'll go File, New, and we're gonna create a new document. I'll call it About Me Title. And then here we're gonna make sure we set this to pixels. First thing, pixels. A lot of people are putting inches on accident, and that's way, way, way too big. Let's set this to 500 for now, and then 200 for the height. And we want it very specific because I'm gonna show you something later. And it's good to have these round numbers. We're gonna create an animation, so we'll be kind of duplicating our what we create. We're gonna duplicate it a few times going downward, and I'll show you that later. But for now, let's go ahead and I'm gonna pick choose. You could double click here and pick whatever color you want, and I'm gonna write about. We're gonna say About Me, and this window here, this character window, you can go Window, or you can click this little thing here to get that open, or you can find things here. Window Character, that's what gets this here. I pick whatever font you want. I'm gonna go with some old graphic design technique where you kind of use two different fonts to make something. So I'm gonna say About in this font, and then Me will be in a different font. And then let's keep enough empty space around this image because we're gonna be putting some stars that shine. We're gonna make this thing animate in Unity. Okay, so we have About there, and then let's type the word Me. I'm gonna pick a different font. Let's go ME. Now I typed it all. I have to highlight it to change this font, and I'm just gonna go, I think like just something like that, and then let's reduce this size. About Me, I'm gonna make it 90 because I'm gonna write the word click above it, so it's like that's gonna be the little like Easter egg, if you will, that let's write click above, and I'm gonna make this small, and let's just go I don't know, Arial, and we'll make this way smaller. And that's just gonna, whoops, not that small. It's just gonna be like this little hidden little thing. Whoops, take this arrow here, and then you can move this into place. Okay, About Me, and then I'm gonna say, I don't know, I'm gonna just write click down here. I don't know, kind of silly, but okay. That's just a reminder that we're gonna click this thing. Okay, now, so you'll notice that every time you do a text layer, you make, it makes a new layer every time you add text. We're gonna turn this layer off, this background layer. Gonna turn it off so you could actually see through it. We could do a few other things. How about we add a drop shadow to the About and to the Me, and we could do that by, well, we have to click one layer at a time apparently, and we could say drop shadow here, and you could play around with these sliders. I'm not gonna do that too much right now because of I'm making a tutorial and I don't want to spend too much time on that. You can do the same thing for this. You can also hold Option on your keyboard and drag effects, and it'll duplicate them. I just held Option on my keyboard. Okay, there. Now we're basically we're gonna set that up. You could change the colors of either word if you want. You could click right on here, take the T tool. You have to have the T tool if you want to change the text color on that layer. And I don't know if I have to highlight the text or not. I guess I didn't. I just had to have the T tool selected. Maybe this is in the way. The T tool selected, and then you could actually, in the character, you could actually change it to whatever color you want. Okay. Now, so that's a good way to set this up. Okay. And then the next step we're going to do is we're going to extend this. We'll keep it simple. We'll just do this. We'll make 4 different versions. You'll see what I'm saying. Let me canvas size, kind of stuttered there, I know. So the height, we're going to multiply the height by 4. So that'll be, instead of 200 for the height, it's going to be now 800. And we need to anchor this in the top left corner. And what it's going to do is it's going to make our canvas taller. And when we hit OK, you'll see that it's taller. Okay, great. And we're doing this because in Unity, we're going to chop this up into 4 pieces. And then when we push animate, it'll show each one individually. Now you can do this. Look, see that here there's like a ruler? I'm going to drag this down, and I'm going to get it to when it says 200. And sometimes you have a hard time getting exactly 200, but I'm going to get it as close as possible. 200, then 400 would be the next number. Oops, you could Command Z if you put it in the wrong spot. 400 right there, and then 600 would be the next one. And we're just kind of dividing this up here. Okay, and then there might be a way to select these and put them on the exact, somebody tell me if you find out a way to place these in the exact spot you want. Okay, now, so real quickly, we're going to select all of these layers, okay, by either going Command G, or you could say group. In here, group layers, where's it? There's new group. I guess that'll work. Didn't work, but so I'm gonna drag these up in here like that. Let me undo this and undo that so I could do it right this time. I could push Command G on my keyboard, or it should say new group from layers. New group from layers, that's what I should have picked. That one. About me 1, that's the first one. Okay, now I can copy and paste this, edit copy, edit paste. I just pasted that whole folder, and with this arrow here selected, I'm pushing the arrow keys on my keyboard. Pushing the arrow keys on my keyboard, okay? And we're gonna do that. I'm gonna paste again. Now, usually it'll, signify, this is the second one, so I'm going to double click in here, put 2, and then I'm going to double click in here and push 3, and then let's paste one more time, and using the arrow keys on my keyboard, I'm going to nudge this down. Okay, now, hopefully we got them in the correct spot, and you'll find out in Unity if you're going to need to adjust this stuff, and it's not too hard to do. Okay, make sure you're always saving this. Go file, save, and save your document as a Photoshop file. And then last thing we're going to do is we're going to add some stars on these. And so if you've used Illustrator before, that's a good place to create a good vector star. Vector images are great because you can resize them and they'll never get messed up. So it started as a rectangle tool. So if you open up Illustrator, hold the mouse down on the rectangle tool, you could change it to star tool, and you could just simply click one time, and you have some settings here you could play around with. Okay, watch, I'll click, and if, like, say you wanted to make that a 9-point star, you could do that. Okay, so let's go with the 9-point star for mine. So you could, if you want to edit the individual points, you could with this little white arrow. Command Z for that. And now the great thing about Illustrator and Photoshop is you can copy from here, so edit copy. And then in Photoshop, you can paste, edit paste. Okay, and you're gonna wanna do the smart object. Select smart object, because then that will keep its ability to keep its vector properties and not get pixelated when you enlarge it. See that? It's not getting all like the little squares. Okay, so we're basically gonna just kind of randomly put, to get out of that mode, you have to push enter on your keyboard or double click. And then I'm gonna just randomly put a couple on here. And so when you click, when in code in Unity, when we click, it'll just play 1, 2, 3, and then it'll go back to this one. And so when you click, it'll just do some sparkles. Now, you might not like this idea. That's totally fine. You could animate yours into doing whatever you want. I could show you how to highlight. Let me get out of this mode, double click, wait, take this arrow, and then that's another way to get out of that mode. And so this might look terrible, might look great. I don't know. We're going to find out when we animate it. And if you wanted to highlight this, like right after it clicks, you kind of maybe the text, I don't know, maybe gets darker first, and then you could click this one and then it gets lighter. Play around with it. You could add gradients on your stuff, and I'll make this one really light just to exaggerate it. And then we'll make it freeze on this. So when you click, it'll go ding, 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 and then it'll go back. Okay, maybe, and if you wanted to put more stars, go ahead, less stars, whatever you want to do. Okay, and then you will go File, Export, and export it all the way into your images folder of your Unity game. And then so when you go to Unity, you will see it appear in the images folder. About Me right here. Okay, now last thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you that we're gonna, when you select the image, right, you're gonna now have all this ability to work with it, and you're gonna hit Open Sprite Editor. And this is where the size came into play. You might have to enlarge this window to see these slice options up here. Okay, so when we click slice, instead of automatic, we're gonna go by cell size. And this is where we typed in the 200 for the width. And I'm sorry, it was 500 for the width, wasn't it? And 200. Okay, let's hit slice. And then you'll notice something. Sorry for that delay. The light just went out in the room. Okay, so when you hit slice, you'll see that it changed these slices around there. And then you need to click this apply button. Okay, so now it's sliced it up into four pieces. And that's why we did all that in Photoshop for the exact size. And then if you hit this little arrow, you'll see that it made 4 different little files. It's really cool. So in the next tutorial, we're going to add that into our canvas, and then we'll put a little code file on it that makes it animate. Okay, let's go ahead and have fun making your graphic in Photoshop. Have fun.